Something terrifying happened, and we need to talk about this. Last time you guys saw me was about almost 3 days ago. I told you guys I had like an eerie feeling about what has been happening, and the energy just has been off. And I just been taking some time off, doing some praying. You feel me? And then I ran into this, and then I saw this about Benny Johnson, who was a friend of the show. Benny Johnson, political commentator, the biggest, and what he just talked about, what just happened to him, is actually something crazy. And you guys got to hear what he had to say. And to me, this is where we're at. This is where we're at right now in politics. This is crazy. And if you guys don't know what you're about to find out, make sure to smash the like button. Let me know where you guys are watching from. As always, let's take a look. I'm going to give you guys an update here first from Pam Bondi, because him and Pam Bondi spoke about this together. And then I want you to hear what he had to say happened to him. This is wild, ladies and gentlemen. Take a listen.
Beautiful, beautiful young family. The author of this letter made it very clear that he hated Benny because of his views, and he wanted Benny dead. This was a coward hiding behind a keyboard who thought he could get away with this. That's why we're standing up here today. You are not going to get away with threatening people in this way. And I'm proud to announce that we have arrested the author of this letter. George Isbell Jr. was taken into custody this morning, and we are charging him federally with mailing threatening communications. It is a crime, and if convicted, he is going to prison. This was incredible teamwork.
So Benny Johnson just went through something horrific. And obviously you heard about the arrest that was just made. But what exactly happened? Well, Benny Johnson, being who he is, explained this in one of the best ways, where he talked about what happened to Charlie Kirk. This guy wanted to do the same thing to him. And things are getting out of hand, man. The time for prayer was not today. It wasn't it's right now.
1 month ago today, I witnessed my friend of 10 years, someone who I considered a brother, a loving husband, a devoted father, a generational leader, get assassinated on a live stream by a left-wing radical. Approximately 1 year ago, I witnessed the President of the United States get shot in the head by a left-wing radical, who also took the life of a Trump supporter in front of his daughters and wife. 2 months ago, Christian children kneeling and praying in a church were slaughtered by a left-wing extremist. And 2 weeks ago, federal law enforcement was shot at multiple sniper rounds in a federal facility by a left-wing extremist. If it's happening every single week, is it that extreme? Or has the Democrat Party mainstreamed violence as a political tool? The individual who wrote me described why he wanted me dead. I was a white, cis, Christian Trump supporter. They described in great detail how I would be killed in an open field just like Charlie, how much blood would come out of my head and neck when it was blown off. This individual described orphaning my 4 beautiful children and widowing my wife with great joy. You might want to say another left-wing radical, another extremist. And to that, I would like to direct your attention to the state of Virginia, where Democrats have nominated and are about to vote for the chief law enforcement officer in that state, a man who has done the exact same thing. An individual who's calling for the assassination by bullets of Republicans that he disagrees with. The killing of their children. The slaughtering of, as he says, little fascists. Are my 4 innocent, beautiful children little fascists? Violence has been mainstreamed by the Democrat Party. It is not extremist, it is mainstream. And we need a moment of reckoning here. This has to stop. This cycle must end. Is any Democrat courageous enough to disavow violence? To call for individuals that espouse these things, like what happened to my family, or what's happening in Virginia, to call for those kind of candidates to step down? Will Democrats vote for that? Because if you're voting for that, then implicitly you're encouraging it, you're endorsing it. I don't want political violence. I want peace in my nation. I love this country. I want to be able to debate like Charlie did. I want to be able to raise my family in peace. That is our birthright. But you cannot make peace with evil as a Christian. You cannot unite with people who want you dead. I want unity in this nation. I want to be able to agree on more than what we disagree on. But for that first to happen, we must understand the battle. We are fighting good versus evil, darkness versus light. And good must conquer evil. Do not make peace with evil. To that end, and in conclusion, I would like to thank federal law enforcement, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, the FBI, the DOJ, the Tampa Police Department, the detectives here, with absolute pinpoint accuracy, professionalism, courtesy, swift and tact. They were able to act instantly in order to make sure that my family was safe. Potentially to preserve the lives of my children. And they're doing that for families all around the country in many different ways. Every American should unite behind that cause. No matter who you are, you should say, this is a country where families should be able to raise their children safely, where people can have peaceful disagreements, where we can all live together under one American flag. I just want to profoundly thank the Trump administration and federal law enforcement and local law enforcement for saving my family. I will never forget it. It is the greatest goodness that has ever been done to me. And that is a thing that every American can get behind. The Trump administration making America safe again. God bless them. 1 month.
Wow. That was a lot to take in. So obviously someone threatened the life of Benny Johnson. They said that he will end up just like Charlie Kirk. They got to this guy before he could do anything about it. They took precaution, but they just took action behind this. And I think that it's been a wild time in the United States of America where you see leftists. I've seen leftists try to make it seem like that's not happening, that this is not happening. And, I've seen many posts basically, making the case out to be that it's actually the Republicans, the MAGA crowd, and people who are conservative that are the ones doing all of this stuff. And I want to show you this. This is where this gets even crazier. So you saw Benny Johnson speak of this attorney general to be. And this is where it gets disgusting. Brace for impact, because I want you guys to listen to this. So after Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump were both shot in the head by Democrats, you probably don't need more proof that Democrats want to, you know what. But if you do, boy, do I have a story for you. Meet Jay Jones. He is a Democrat candidate for Attorney General of Virginia. Jay publicly fantasizes about shooting his GOP rivals, House Speaker Todd Gilbert, twice in the head and pissing on his grave. He also wished the death of Gilbert's small children, calling them little fascists. That's exactly what you heard Benny Johnson say up there. And, this thing just gets crazy. So the Democrats are the party of violence and domestic terrorism, says here Benny Johnson on this post. Jay Jones must drop out and face full investigation. This is the same dangerous sickness that led to Charlie Kirk's assassination and 2 attempts on President Trump's life. Enough. Here is Jay Jones, right? Here's Jay Jones. And let's be very honest. This is like, Are you surprised by the fact that we have found this to be the case? This is what he said. The nice things, they say nice things about everyone, LOL. If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals and piss on their graves. Send them out to a wash and something. 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets. Again, this guy is talking crazy. This is the proof. This is real. Jay Jones. Has he resigned? Why is he talking like this? What are we doing in this country? Where are we going? What's the goal here? Well, again, I've made plenty of cases on this channel that we live in different realities, different universes. A lot of these young people are always looking to do something. I know I was one of those people that I was always trying to be activist. I was always trying to be active. I was always trying to do something and be something in this world. What's something better than fighting fascists, than fighting Hitler? So in this world that they live in, that's what they think that they're doing. And that's why we need to come together in one sense, communication, but through the media. What news is coming out that is saying all this crazy stuff, and they're lying to people about what's really going on, about what Trump is really doing, or about what's really going on? In their world, they feel that their rights are about to be taken, that their livelihoods are up for grabs, and that it's over, and that they must do something about it now. Again, these are the different realities that a lot of these young people are living in. And it sucks, man. It's crazy to see Benny Johnson up there. And every day, I just think, man, like, I just don't know what I'm going to wake up to. It's an eerie feeling. It's literally a feeling. It makes me not even want to talk about politics or be in politics anymore, because this isn't about policy. This isn't about moving America forward. This isn't about immigration debates. This isn't even about debate anymore. This is about life or death for people. And it's becoming that way. And so people think that by taking matters into their own hands, they're being the hero. It's sickening to hear that happened to someone like Benny Johnson. I've met him before. Seems to be a good guy. And it sucks. It really does suck that this is where we're at in the United States of America. But how did we get here? How did we get here? It's completely up to us to understand how we got here, and how do we make it out of here as Americans. We're talking about 400 million Americans with differences of opinions. One side, the other side, another side. Everybody has differences of opinions. But who and how will you be able to make it out without igniting the fire of making people want to harm each other, but yet spark debate? How do we spark more debate, more unity? But is that even possible anymore? Are we just so far gone already? These text messages are from a guy who is like an attorney general to be. Like, he's the Democrat candidate to become the attorney general of Virginia. He's saying that. So now these people that think this way are becoming to gather power through legislation or through, again, government. And now you have that showing all. It feels like it's just showing out now. It's manifested itself into government. And people really hate each other. But there's only one solution here. And that is Jesus Christ. That is the solution to all of our problems. It's always been that way. It's always going to be that way. Not one policy, not one president can change what Jesus Christ can change. That is my opinion. But again, it's been a disturbing time, ladies and gentlemen. It has been. It has been. And maybe I'm not the only guy that feels this way. But man, may God be with us at all times. It's just wild reading stuff like this. But again, I am pushing for Jesus Christ. I think that's the only solution here.